everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another Reviews After Midnight. And tonight, there's a guest. There's a guest right next to me. Let's see if I can put my hand.
Who?
Maybe I can
Oh,
massage
quit
you.
grabbing my butt, John.
Who
Hi.
and who is our special guest?
I am the notorious OGP. I'm also known in some circles as Nog Ross, the king of wishful drinking, because I drink. Ooh, I've been drinking right now.
Right.
And I drink and I get goofy, but I have a good time. And I'm very happy to be here to talk movies with you, Mr. John.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I think you are my second guest. Jonathan was on one of these. Jonathan Moody was on one earlier, and then it's only been me. So you're my second guest. So this should be exciting.
Very honored.
Well, thank you, and I'm honored to have you on. So we're going to be looking at Reeker, this movie right here.
Ooh, yes. I have a copy of Reeker as well. This is what got me excited right here. When I picked this up, this is what got me excited. Somebody recommended to me a while back to watch Reeker. And so I looked and I was like, ooh, luckily I have it in my collection. I need to watch this. And then I picked it up and I saw that and I got very excited.
So why did that excite you?
That is a sign that's out in front of the gas station, which was also used in House of a Thousand Corpses as Captain Spaulding's museum. It's also in the movie Identity and several other movies. That gas station was used for filming for many different movies, music videos, all kinds of different things. It's on a big ranch up in, I think it's still Los Angeles County, but it's just north of like Palmdale, Lancaster area out there. And I love it specifically because I'm a huge House of Thousand Corpses fan. And right away, I recognize that sign from House of Thousand Corpses.
Okay. And then, because this is, I'll just do this for, let's see. I'm still new at this, so let's see. So that's the film that we're going to be talking about. And then we can do this down here for a second as we look at it. So there we go. Still learning how to do all this stuff here. So, and then we can go back to us. There we go. So, okay, cool. So
I like that artwork. I hadn't seen that artwork before. But I'm trying to it kind of looks like the girl on the cover here. But I'm not sure. It's got to be her. It's got to be the same girl, but just like different. But the blood coming out of her nose and everything. That's pretty cool artwork. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say yeah.
So how this works is I have questions that are right here.
Okay.
And I go off of these. Unless I've made notes, I incorporate them into this. There's 11 questions. So we can answer both of them.
Sounds good.
Or we can both answer the 11 questions.
Gotcha.
So, okay. So the film title is Reeker. And then it says, can you also include a star rating?
So I should rate this. My overall rating for Reeker, right out of the bat, we're doing this right now.
Yeah, it's the first question.
Okay. 3 stars. I give this 3 stars. But on Letterboxd, I give this 3 stars, but I also give it the heart. On Letterboxd, you have the option to heart it or not heart it. Because you could say, well, it's 2 stars, but I really love it. So I'm still giving it the heart. This definitely gets a 3 stars and a heart for me. I really, really had fun with this movie. Got some flaws, but I had fun with it. So 3 stars, I think.
Okay. And I would agree with that. I would also, I think 3 out of 5, maybe 3.5, maybe aiming a little more towards 4 than 3, but I'll stick with 3 right now. So,
okay.
Yeah. I think 3 is good for this. What did you expect from the film?
I went in not really knowing. I just read the synopsis on the back and then the tagline here, between light and dark, night and day, living and dead. So I didn't know what really to expect going in. And then as we meet the cast, it really takes the movie a while to evolve and for you really to understand what's going on in this story. But not knowing what to expect at all, this movie starts out with a bang. It really, before the credits, it is crazy. It gets right into it. And it was just very, very good. But I kind of went in blind. I'd never seen a trailer. All I knew was that somebody recommended I watch it.
Yeah, and I watched it a long time ago. I'm totally wrong about the ending. I thought I knew the ending. And I'm like, no, that's not the ending then. So this was almost like a fresh watch for me
Nice.
because there is a Reeker in this movie. It's a thing. There is a Reeker.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I completely forgot that this actually has like a being in it.
Yeah.
Um, but I do remember the car flipped and like they drive past it. But that's really about it. I don't really remember much more. So when you send me a message saying, "Hey, I'm watching Reeker," it's like, oh, wait, I've wanted to do a reviews at midnight on this, and so it's like, okay, well let me go grab it because I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in so long. There's also a good little making of, and there's a photo gallery on here.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't watch the photo gallery, but the making of it's only about 11 minutes, but it really, you get little interview clips with some of the actors, the director, some of the behind the scenes. And what I really liked about it was, um, don't watch the making of it till after you've seen it for anybody
Right.
watching this, because there will be spoiler things. But seeing how they had that big car rig and how they filmed the car, it wasn't like green screened or whatever. There was some money put into this movie, and you could tell at times. And so I really love seeing the behind the scenes because I was kind of curious, what was the budget? What did how much was this like guerrilla style filming, or was this like a union project or what? But that 11 minutes really answered a lot of my questions. So I recommend everybody, if you watch this, watch that special feature at the end there.
Yeah, for 11 minutes you get a lot of info, and I'm curious from something like Identity, which is a very Hollywood movie, to
Yeah.
something maybe that's a little more like a House of Thousand Corpses, to this. Like, how much is it to rent that motel? Like,
Yeah. I wish I knew. I wish I could tell you, because that there's been, I mean, Identity is a big project, and they were there obviously a long time. House of a Thousand Corpses, they had to build out the museum, which probably some of that was done in a studio, but the entrance and all that at the gas station, which where you when you typically walk into the front of that place, it's like a gas station. It's an open counter area, but Captain Spaulding's place. Remember when the group in House of Thousand Corpses go in there, it's like a convenience store, and then they're getting robbed and stuff. There's like a lot going on in there, so they obviously did a lot of work on that building to make it work for House of Thousand Corpses. So they weren't there just like a quick 2-day shoot or something. House of Thousand Corpses, Identity, we understand that stuff. Reeker, I wonder on the budget, what their budget really was, but obviously they had to been at this facility for at least a week or two, because the entirety of this movie is filmed out there. It's not like they had a lot of opportunity to go film this in a studio, because when you see this, you'll just understand this took place out there, and it was shot out there. So yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew how much it was, because man, I would love to go make a movie out there.
yeah, I definitely want to go visit it at least, and
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome because I absolutely love Identity. I think Identity is an awesome film, and
Yeah.
So it'd be great to go, and all the other movies would just be great to see that. So,
Yes.
okay, so genre. What type of film is it? Does it have a message?
Mm. I'm saying it's a horror movie, but it's not a slasher. Um, if I was going to equate this to something, I would equate it to it's similarities to Jeepers Creepers, um, and elements of this have some like I feel like maybe this director is a fan of Rob Zombie, um, and maybe there was some elements of House of Thousand Corpses, like maybe the way the Reeker looked might have been inspired from a character in House of Thousand Corpses. But I think this is just it's a horror movie with a subgenre of like maybe I don't like it's like a thriller because it really makes you got to think and figure out what's going on here. But I don't know that it's a psychological thriller, but it's definitely like a horror thriller. I don't know what else other subgenre it would fall into.
Yeah, I kind of got uh, Jacob's Ladder vibes from it.
Okay. Okay. I do have IMDb pulled up here, and they also, and this is a good one, supernatural horror.
Okay, yeah,
That definitely works. Mystery, thriller, and horror. They have it as. So my thought of horror thriller was before I even looked at any of that. So they do have it listed as a slasher, which I don't feel it's a slasher at all. There are moments slasher-ish, but it's not a true slasher.
yeah. I don't keep it back here with my slasher films. It's just in horror. So
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think so either. So
Yeah.
it's a weird movie. It's an unusual movie.
Yeah.
So does the movie have a message?
Like a message. We're talking like after school special message where you take something away from it, or
Yeah, like yeah. You know,
um
I would say no.
I
I
no
would say
no
there's no
because
message.
yeah, what happens to these people is totally wrong place, wrong time. It's not like now there are good people in this, there are bad people in this. Um, it, and what happens to them has no regards with whether they're good or bad people. So I would say no message.
So this deals with the plot. Okay, so what happens in the film? Does the plot make sense? Is it easy to follow? Is it believable?
Okay.
So we'll
Am I
start with
going?
the first one. So
Okay.
what happens in the film?
So you have this group of people that are traveling to a like I guess the biggest rave or whatever outdoor rave in the country. I think it's supposed to be kind of like a one of the Burning Man kind of events, but they call it Area 52. And they're heading out there, and you have one of the guys who went and stole some drugs, like whatever ecstasy or whatever you would take at an event like that, from a doctor a failed doctor who's very funny. He's in underwear and a weird lab coat and stuff. The doctor was kind of funny. But the one guy steals some drugs from him, and they're going out there. And when the girl that's driving the car finds out, it's a group of people in one car. And when the girl finds out that she has drugs on him, she's like, I'm not cool with this. And so she's like, I'm taking you back to this gas station. I'm dropping you off there. And then you're on your own. Well, when they go back there, they have car trouble. And ultimately, they never get out of that gas station. And that's when, the bad things happen. They start experiencing the Reeker.
Okay. Does the plot make sense?
That's interesting because as I watch this, I go, there's like a lot of things I follow along with. And then you do have a really big twist, a couple twists. But at first I was like, how does that work? Does that work right? The the storyline it makes sense after when you finish the movie. Sit and think about it, but you got to pay close attention the entire movie. As if you're dozing off or you're distracted, you're going to miss things that are going to answer questions that you'll have. But at the end of the movie, it should all make sense if you're paying attention.
Okay, and because that is it easy enough to follow?
It's pretty tough to follow along. You have to pay close attention. This is not, I mean, there's a lot of like Friday the 13th, for example. You can look away, or you could get distracted on a phone call and then just hang up the phone and go right back to it. We know Jason is out trying to kill people. That's what's going on. If you're not paying attention in this, you could potentially be lost at the end of the movie and go like, how, wait, what? How, what? So I thought that guy was dead. What? So you do have to pay attention. It's not easy. This is definitely one requires a lot of focus.
Is it believable?
Hell no. It is fantasy. It is definitely supernatural. So it's not going to happen. As far as the cast, the group of kids going to this rave, totally believable. Them getting stuck at a gas station in the middle of the desert, totally believable. But then you get this supernatural being that is where it's not believable. And that's where, if you're a fan of horror, or even if you're just a fan of any type of movie with supernatural things like superheroes or anything like that, we accept the supernatural world and we just enjoy that this, in maybe whatever universe could happen, but in our universe, it's not going to happen, but it's a fun watch.
Okay. So characters, who are the main characters and what are they like?
Okay. I suck at names. I'm cheating here on IMDb.
Me too.
So we have Devin Gummersall, who is a famous actor, been in a ton of things, is Jack, and he is a blind guy. He's sitting in the middle in the back seat, and Jack, they tease him at first because they don't realize he's blind, and then they once they kind of realize that he's blind, you realize a couple of the other characters are just real dicks because they're still kind of joking about him being blind. But for the hand he's dealt with being blind, he's a real trooper through this. You're rooting for him. The other two guys are like, they turn out to just be kind of dickheads. And then you have the cop, or not the cop. You have the doctor who's like a dickhead too. So you don't really care about them. Then you have the two girls who are Gretchen and Cookie, and they're both very gorgeous women. So if you're looking for eye candy, you definitely get that with them. Cookie is in the back seat of the car. She's the blonde. She's kind of just like more up for the adventure, where Gretchen is more straight and narrow. She's like a med student or something, like a grad student or something like that. But they're all very good. The cast, I think they do a fine job with their acting, and their characters are good. I don't, I could sit here all night breaking down each, character and what they do, but Cookie winds up being more of like
a free spirit in a way.
Free spirit. Yeah, that's a good phrase. Yeah. She's hopping into bed with one of the guys that, she doesn't really know or whatever.
That is something that annoyed me. The lack of nudity in this. And then she's hopping in bed with this guy, and we keep cutting back, and it's like she still has her jacket on.
Yeah.
Like they're in bed and there's like 3 layers of clothes on her and on him. It's like, I mean, we don't have to see her boobs, but can we make it look like they're moving on with having sex instead of just,
because we go from that to after, where she's already done. She's got to go to the outhouse. Like, most women after sex have to go to the bathroom, whatever. So she's going to the outhouse, and that's where, not to spoil anything, but the situation arises in the outhouse for her. But yeah, and she, is just wearing her little tiny panties and her t-shirt, and she looks great. But you're right. This one thing definitely lacking in this movie is nudity. So don't expect that with any of the cast members.
Yeah, no, there's none. Um, did you like the camera work? What is the camera work like?
All in all, I didn't go, I hate this camera work. And there's a lot of movies that really frustrate me right off the bat with the camera, the shaky camera or bad angles or bad lighting. I didn't notice anything like that. But at the same time, there was nothing where I went like, oh, that was gorgeous or a great use of the camera. Um, so, uh, I didn't dislike it, but it's nothing that's going to win an award. But it was solid, serviceable camera work.
So that's actually one of the questions on here is, are there beautiful scenes? Are there moments when the camera was used in an interesting way?
I don't know about not the camera per se, but there were some shots at night when they're outside, when you see like the neon, you see the building or, the dark desert in the background and stuff. I think there was some good, solid work, but again, nothing over the top that's going to win an award.
Right. What about the special effects? Did you like the special effects?
So I actually went back and rewatched, because at the very beginning of the movie, we start off and there's a vehicle that hits something, and to avoid full spoiler, I won't say what that is, but it hits something, and I went back, and this is the opening scene. So it hits something, they pull over to the side of the road, and there is one effect. What they hit is not good. If you watch it again, that's not good. But then the dad in this car comes walking back over, and something bad had happened to him. He's like a la Gus Fring's, the way Gus Fring met his doom in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. That is what kind of happened to this dad. He's missing half his head. I'll just give you a little bit, because it's not going to shock you when you see that it comes, but that was phenomenal. That was really top notch. I was like, if they used a green screen on that, they did great, because there a lot of times on lower budget movies, you'll get like a green glow or you'll see the bad effect or whatever. That effect was phenomenal. So there was some very good, and there was some weaker stuff. All in all, I did not have any problem with the effects in this, but I would say I lean toward the more positive thoughts on the effects, because there were some really good ones, couple, but some really good ones that outweighed the bad ones.
Perfect. So did you enjoy the film? What were its good and bad points?
So I think I really enjoyed it. It caught me off guard. Somebody had recommended it to me, so I hoped that it would be good, but I've had a lot of people recommend movies and I've hated them. So for me to enjoy this, I was like, okay, that's cool. Maybe part of the bad for me was the doctor. He shows up because he's mad. He wants his drugs. And he looks a lot like one of the other characters. So I kept confusing those two. And so at one point I was like, wait a minute. What? I wish they would have picked a different looking, or had the doctor make him look more, I don't know, just distinguishable, from the other guy. So that was kind of tough for me. And then the Reeker is, this supernatural being. And I kind of felt like, for a supernatural being, he wears this mask thing. Why does a supernatural being need a mask? It was kind of weird. I didn't care for that. That was their artistic preference. Who am I to judge? But I didn't care for that. So there was a couple little things, and that's why I'm like, some of the effects, some confusion and stuff. That's why it gets a 3. But concept and everything, this is phenomenal. But I really liked it. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too, even on this. Well, like I said, I guess I don't remember anything from it, so it was almost like a brand new viewing. So yeah, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. So
I do love when you watch a movie again and you're like, oh my God, I forgot all this stuff. It's
yeah,
really nice. And that's why we physical media collectors collect, because you put it on the shelf long enough, you'll forget enough about it that you go back to it and it's fun. So
right.
recommend getting a copy.
What scene did you particularly enjoy or remember?
Um, I think, just gonna the scene when after the girl and the guy had sex and she goes to the outhouse, that was great. That was really great. That, and then the end, the way they wrapped it all up, and you're like, oh, okay, now it all kind of makes sense. And I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to go into how
Yep.
or what the end scene is. But the end, when the twists and everything happen, you're like, okay, that was great. But just throughout the duration of the film, the outhouse scene.
Yeah, that is a good scene. Okay, so now the opposite. What scene did you particularly not enjoy? Why was it bad? Or was there one?
Uh, a scene that was not good. I would say in the restaurant when when they're on the way up, they're driving out to this rave thing. They stop off to get a bite to eat, and they're sitting there, and the guy who stole the drugs is whispering in his buddy's ear that he stole the drugs, and the girl who was driving was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And they don't tell her. She doesn't find out till later when they're on the road that he stole the drugs. But it's like he's whispering in the guy's ear, I stole the drugs. We're going to party it up. And then boom, the phone rings and it's the doctor. Like, I caught you on my webcam. Just the timing of that was like too cheesy. That scene right there. Another scene that was phenomenal. Going back to the question. There's a scene where the girl Gretchen and Jack, the two characters, Gretchen and Jack, they're standing on top of the RV, and something fucking hysterical happens up there. What happens to Jack, is very funny. And Jack's like, they're facing the end of the world, and Jack's like, so what do you think about, like sex on top of an RV? That was hilarious because a lot of guys, I'm thinking like, if I'm gonna die, the end of the world's coming. Let's go out with a bang. So like the fact that he actually, was thinking to say that, I thought that was very funny writing. So that was another good scene. There's way more good scenes than bad scenes, and I think the one in the restaurant was just a little awkward.
Okay. Would you recommend this film and to what sort of people?
I would definitely recommend it, and you have to have a good stomach, I think, because there are some good bloody kills in this. There's some funny kills, like there's parts where people are chopped in half, but they're still alive. It's kind of funny. Um,
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Yeah.
yeah,
That poor
like
dog. That poor dog.
yeah. So, and that's, I don't know if the dog was just a good actor or if it was really missing a leg or how they did
No,
that, but
in the gallery, they start off with behind the scenes and then it
mm,
just gets into pictures for the movie. They show the dog in one of those dog like a wheelchair things
okay.
where like he uses his paws and the wheels move. So I think that he was
Oh,
like a
like
dog.
amputee or something?
Not his legs were still there, but
Oh,
I think it's the so he's kind of dragging.
so his legs
It's
don't
like a little
really,
cart. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
his legs
yeah,
don't function. So they
yeah.
showed a picture of that.
Yeah. Okay. So they must have took him out of the cart and made him kind of drag himself for some of those scenes.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is CGI, so they could
Yeah.
yeah. So
But
it's
yeah, and that's for me, I don't like, you want to kill kids. I do struggle watching animals get hurt, especially
yeah.
dogs and cats and stuff. But it's just a movie, but if you have a hard time with that, this and it happens early on in the movie, so it may be tough for you. You got to be able to handle stuff like that and handle blood. But all in all, it's a fun movie. If you're a casual horror fan, I think you'll enjoy this.
And I mean, we did this at the beginning a little bit, but are there any other films that you could compare this to?
I would say for me, because of the style of the killer, Jeepers Creepers is a good one. But I mean, location wise, yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses is right there. So, and there's some funny moments and stuff, but those are the two that come to mind for me.
Yeah, for me, it feels a little like J horror, like with the with like the girls are all as they're kind of walking
Oh,
across, they're doing that weird walk that they do, and so with
yeah,
him, he kind of does this weird.
yeah, yeah. He moves kind of
And
fast. Yeah,
it's interesting how he moves, and I like in this that we don't learn anything about him. He's just there,
yeah,
and then there's the twist at the end, and then we find out what happened, what's going on, why they're there, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend this film too. So I think
yeah.
it's
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. So okay. Anything else?
Oh, is that it for the questions?
That's it.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. No. I would just say that I think this is it's a fun film. My final thoughts on it are: it is worth the watch. It's not perfect, so go into it understanding there's gonna be some flaws, but just have fun with it. But pay close attention because yeah, you need to understand. Uh-oh,
I did
where you
that.
going? Oh, okay. What the Reeker is. You need to know what the Reeker is. So pay close attention. So yeah, that's it. I highly recommend it. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay. And I highly recommend it also. So I'm glad that you mentioned it to me because that was like, God, what am I going to do? I need to get Jonathan a reviews after midnight. And it's like, hey, I'm
Oh,
watching the
yeah.
Reeker. Yes. So, all right,
Nice.
everybody. Well, thank you for watching this. I really
Oh,
do
yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, like, subscribe, comment. Have you seen Reeker? Have you seen this
Yes.
movie? Just, let us know if you liked it or not. So
Yes.
I guess that's it. So thank you, everybody. And we will see you because Philip he's coming back for the next video. We'll see you on the next video. So, okay. Bye, everybody.